drivers and spectators walked away unharmed. It also saw Damon Hill's first victory since his World Championship in 1996 and Jordan's first win ever after Schumacher had controversially crashed out. The World Championship leader was eliminated at the restart. Häkkinen on intermediate tyres didn't have enough grip and round he went. A resurgent Damon Hill leads for Jordan, but is powerless to resist the advances of Schumacher, who makes a bold move under braking for the chicane. As Villeneuve, still on intermediates, spins out. Having spun early on, Coulthard was in a lowly 8th place as the race leader came to lap him. With a 34-second lead over Hill and his second stop due imminently, Schumacher could afford to take it easy, but clearly he was in no mood to wait. Coulthard was slower on acceleration than Schumacher, who failed to read what the McLaren was doing and hit him hard. Initially, the German thought the Scot had backed off deliberately, and he went to voice his anger. This left Damon Hill leading the race, and Damon handed Jordan its first ever Grand Prix victory. Schumacher and Coulthard kissed and made up before the Italian Grand Prix, but Ferrari knew that their chances of the title had slipped. Although Schumacher snatched pole with Villeneuve alongside, it was the McLarens who got the better start, as Schumacher dropped to 5th by the first corner. Häkkinen was struggling with his tyres and decided to let his teammate Coulthard go past. The Scot opened up a 10-second lead, but then disaster. The Mercedes lets go, and amid the confusion, Häkkinen loses momentum. Schumacher draws alongside, and suddenly it's a straight fight for the title. Damon Hill was enjoying another strong run after qualifying a lowly 14th. By lap 11, he was up to 6th place. As Schumacher pulled away, Häkkinen's brakes played tricks on him, and he spun. He recovered, but the brakes didn't, as both Irvine and Ralf Schumacher sailed past him. McLaren's reliability gremlin had returned when they needed it least. Häkkinen nursed the McLaren through to 4th place despite another scare. He and Schumacher were now level on points with 2 races to go. Pure emotion, Italian style. Another Ferrari 1-2 and the first shared podium for the Schumacher brothers. With only 4 points from the last 3 races, Häkkinen needed to reverse the rot in Luxembourg, and he delivered. It was without doubt his finest drive in Formula One, keeping his nerve and taking the fight to Schumacher. It was his 7th and most important win of the year. Ferrari had pole position and got the drop at the start, with Irvine getting between Häkkinen and the leading Ferrari. Unlike Magny-Cours, Irvine failed to hold Häkkinen back. The Finn was irresistible. He took a gamble at the chicane, which paid off for him. He then set about catching Schumacher, and when the Ferrari made its first stop, the Finn put the hammer down. When he pitted 4 laps later, he had done just enough to keep the lead. On German soil, he had out-Schumachered Schumacher. Try as he might, the Ferrari #1 couldn't get on terms with Häkkinen, who soaked up the pressure and held on to the checkered flag. It was a 2-horse race. David Coulthard trailed in 3rd, and there was a good scrap between Fisichella, Wurz and Frentzen for 5th place. But all eyes were on the title hopefuls as they contemplated the 5-week wait before the decider in Japan. Formula One is about real highs and real lows, and there isn't much in between. Häkkinen won the world title, while after 5,000 miles of testing for this one race and a dramatic pole position, Michael Schumacher lost out at Suzuka by something as simple as stalling at the start. After Jarno Trulli's problems had aborted the first start, Schumacher's transmission overheated on the 2nd parade lap. As he went for first gear, clunk. He was sent to the back of the grid and the title looked lost. Only a miracle could save him now. He tore through the field, 22nd at the start. He was up to 12th after 1 lap and 7th by lap 5 when he encountered the Hill-Villeneuve battle, which slowed his progress. After a blisteringly fast pit stop, Schumacher was up to 3rd and flying. At the front, Häkkinen held Irvine at arm's length. Then the turning point. Takagi and Tuero collide at the chicane. Schumacher picks up debris on his tyres. Blowout. As he struggles to regain control, it's game, set and match Häkkinen. For the second year in a row, Shuey ends his season sitting on a wall. The current Formula One field gets a fourth world champion, and Ferrari's title drought stretches to 20 years. The blowout was a sad way for Goodyear to end its career in Formula One. Also bowing out in Japan was Tyrrell. After 30 years of Grand Prix racing, the name was retired, to be replaced next year by BAR. Boosted by Honda power, Damon Hill's fourth place hoisted Jordan into the top four in the constructors' table for the first time, as Benetton slipped to fifth. Schumacher sportingly congratulates the new champion, not just on his title or his 8th win of the season, but on a great year of competition at the sharp end of Formula One. More of the same in 1999, please.
Like him or loathe him, and I like him, you have to admit that Michael Schumacher had the most terrible luck in Japan, because ironically it was a Goodyear puncture that took him out of the race, and Goodyear had done more than anyone else to get Ferrari up front in the second half of the season. And then I really think he lost the World Championship in Belgium when he drove into the back of David Coulthard. Contentious, yes, but the fact remains that if he hadn't done so, he would have got 10 points and almost been home and dry.
Yeah, but remember, I mean, Michael's luck ran out in Japan for sure, but stalled on the grid. Some people saying it was him. I think his car had overheated, but he didn't drive that lap around the second warm-up lap around to the third start of the race at all.
Yeah,
well.
True.
He'd been off the road twice, then he went through some debris, and possibly that's where he got his puncture from. So, but finally his luck did have to run out. At Spa, he was pushing very hard again, 37 seconds in the lead, pulling away 2 seconds a lap. He didn't need to take any risks.
Should have taken it easier?
I think he should have done, yes. But at the end of the day, he's a racer. I think he'd convinced himself that McLaren was going to mess him around. And there was a lot of controversy after that, and both drivers learned a lot from that Spa situation.
But Damon won. 22nd win. He can do it. You know, he put the doubters away there, because he showed that if he's got the right car, and he had there, he can still do the job.
Yeah, I agree with you. And talking of doubters, Mika Hakkinen certainly put a few to bed in the Nürburgring, of course. I mean, people were saying, did Hakkinen and Schumacher change helmets for the day? Because it was Hakkinen putting in the blistering stints in between. Very good strategy by McLaren this time. Yeah. Michael looking a bit second-rate, and Mika really taking the championship by the scruff of the neck. I think it was the turning point, the critical point for him.
A lot of people said Michael Schumacher's been there and done that in World Championship terms twice. Mika hasn't. He's going to crack. He didn't. He won.
Well, he's soon back. Looks like he's had a pretty tough season too. Good time for us to take a break, but don't go away. Plenty left yet in this 1 hour Christmas special. We profile the new world champion and a look at the new kids on the block, British American racing.